Welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Kelly Grant in for Wendy Bounds. Breaking news out of New Jersey reports that Rutgers has parted ways with athletic director Pernetti. And we have Matt Futterman, who's here on set to tell us all of the details. Matt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand we're still ahead of the announcement a little bit here that that's going to be coming down at about 1 o'clock. Do we know for sure dismissed versus he stepped down?
We don't know that, but I think it's become clear over the last 48 hours that he was not a welcome presence there. There were calls by some of the top political leaders in New Jersey that they wanted him to step down or to be fired. They didn't really care. They just didn't think that it was acceptable for him to be running the ship after the decisions that he made back a few months ago.
And now this all centers around his conduct after seeing the video of basketball coach Mike Rice berating players and grabbing them. Do we get the sense that this is more about, that they really thought that this was the appropriate action to take versus that he was trying to cover this up?
I don't think anyone really understands exactly what was going through the mind of Tim Pernetti, especially because Mike Rice wasn't performing very well. And basketball is a very small world. I mean, it looks big when you see it on television, but a college coach's ability to recruit good players is everything. That's his calling card. Once he was suspended, once he was given this fine, nobody had seen the tapes, or very few people had seen the tapes, but word was going to get out on the street that this guy was in trouble because he was mistreating players. At that point, no player wants to go play for this guy. So what's the point of keeping him around anyway? Aside from the fact that the behavior is kind of despicable and hard to watch, it just didn't seem to make sense that this is somebody you would defend and you would say, no, it's worth rehabilitating him.
Well, you mentioned a lot of the criticism, but we have heard that there has been some defense of him, and pointing out.
You're talking about Rice, or you're talking about Pernetti?
Pernetti.
Right.
That this,
okay.
This is something. There has been a little bit of defense of Pernetti, and the idea that this is something that he had approval from the university. So how far up could this go in terms of the firings or parting ways?
Tim Pernetti has done some effective things with Rutgers. The athletic department was facing real trouble last year when its conference, the Big East Conference, was losing all these sorts of members and falling apart. And he somehow maneuvered Rutgers into the Big Ten Conference, which is probably the most powerful conference in college athletics. So there are some things he had done well. I think the problem is that it seems to be that he didn't show the tape to the president. So he told the president about the decisions, and he told the president about the behavior, but he didn't show him the tape. So that gives the president a certain amount of cover to say, well, look, I didn't see it. He explained this to me, but now that I've seen it, which he said he finally saw it for the first time on Tuesday, we made the wrong decision here, and he's got to be fired.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that announcement.
Or resign, which he's got to go. One way or another.
Either way, we'll know for sure within the hour here.
Right.
So we'll pay attention to that. Thank you so much for joining us.